On today's show, from my blind man perspective, I'm going to give my thoughts about Candace Owens' opening statements in front of the U.S. hearing in Phoenix, Arizona. And I'm going to give my review of a movie called The Green Room that I just listened to on Netflix. Give us a call at 720-324-7278. That's 720-324-7278 here on Innervision FM.
Innervision, taking you to a new level of Christian radio. www.innervisionrecords.org, the official website of Innervision.
Send us feedback, requests.
Help spread the word about local musicians. We are Inner FM.
Mr. Chairman, ranking... There we go. Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Mr. Collins, thank you for having me here today. I received word on my way in that many of the journalists were confused as to why I was invited, and none of them knew that I myself was the victim of a hate crime when I was in high school. That's something that very few people know about me because the media and the journalists and the left are not interested in telling the truth about me because I don't fit the stereotype of what they like to see in black people.
Maybe they're just so interested in just reporting left-wing fake news. Could that be the answer? But I digress. Candace, please continue.
I'm a Democrat. I support the President of the United States, and I advocate for things that are actually affecting the black community.
Al Sharpton alert. Jesse Jackson alert. Someone is trying to hone in on their victim, what group? I guess because Candace is not a victim and she's a proud American, that's going to cut into your game, Sharpton and Jackson. But I digress again. Let me stop interrupting Candace.
I'm honored to be here today in front of you all because the person sitting behind me is my 75-year-old grandfather. I've always considered myself to be my grandfather's child, and I mean to say that my sense of humor, my passion, and my work ethic all comes from the man that is sitting behind me. My grandfather grew up on a sharecropping farm in the segregated South. He grew up in an America where words like racism and white nationalism held real meaning under the Democrat Party's Jim Crow laws. My grandfather's first job was given to him at the age of 5 years old, and his job was to lay tobacco out to dry in an attic in the South. My grandfather has picked cotton, and he has also had experiences with a Democrat terrorist organization of that time, the Ku Klux Klan. They would regularly visit his home, and they would shoot bullets into it. They had an issue with his father, my great-grandfather.
No, she didn't. Did she say Democrat Ku Klux Klan? Not what the fake news says, Republicans? Can this be so? Democrats were running the Ku Klux Klan back in the day. Couldn't be so. But we hear in the fake news today, Republicans are so racist. Who are the real racists? And once again, if the shoe doesn't fit, if you're a Democrat and you would never join the KKK, don't put on the shoe. But if you're a Democrat and you want to lie about the history of KKK, put on the shoe. Got it? Got it.
During my formative years, I had the privilege of growing up in my grandfather's home. It's going to shock the committee, but not once, not in a single breath of a conversation did my grandfather tell me that I could not do something because of my skin color. Not once did my grandfather hold a gripe against the white man. I was simply never taught to view myself as a victim because of my heritage. I learned about faith in God, family, and hard work. Those were the only lessons of my childhood. There isn't a single adult today that in good conscience would make the argument that America is a more racist or a more white nationalist society than it was when my grandfather was growing up. And yet we're hearing these terms sent around today because what they want to say is that brown people need to be scared, which seems to be the narrative that we hear every 4 years right ahead of a presidential election. Here are some things we never hear.
Okay, get ready, fake news. This is something that you will never report because your narrative wants to lie to your viewers. But now the cat is out of the bag. And for you teachers in the audience, you have to explain why this is. You want more money? Let's see results, not just extra cash in the pocket. And I do agree that your job is a hard job, but will more money make you turn these numbers around that you're about to hear? Listen to Candace Owens.
75% of the black boys in California don't meet state reading standards. In inner cities like Baltimore, within 5 high schools and 1 middle school, not a single student was found to be proficient in math or reading in 2016. The single motherhood rate in the black community, which was at 23% in the 1960s when my grandfather was coming up, is at a staggering 74% today. I am guessing there will be no committee hearings about that.
Hold up. No, you will not be hearing any hearings on that, because what does the Democrats want? They want more victims. Why do they want more victims? Because if you have your hand out to the government and the government says, I'll give you this little piece of candy, this just a little piece of candy for my little Negroes and my little non-ethnic poor people. We just want to give you this little bit of. Oh, wait a minute. I'm diversing into ALC, imitation of black people, right? and Obama and what about Hillary Clinton? I don't need no more.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy.
But shouldn't take light of this. In the blind community, there's only 10% of blind people that know how to read Braille. I'm one of those 10%, and 90% of us who are blind don't know how to read Braille. Why is that? But I don't know. That's getting a little bit too complicated. Let's deal with the sighted people and why teachers and administrations can't figure out how to teach sighted people who have all their faculties and being hoodwinked into poverty by the system of Democratic ran schools systems. Think about that. Think about that here on Innervision FM.
There are more black babies aborted than born alive in cities like New York, and you have Democrat Governor Andrew Cuomo lighting up buildings to celebrate late-term abortions.
And we don't want to talk about the Southern governor, former doctor, saying that we'll deliver the baby and we'll resuscitate the baby if need be, and we'll make the baby feel comfortable. And then we'll go over to the mommy and we'll discuss, should we kill the baby? Should we let the baby live? Should we kill the baby? Should we let the baby live? And Democrats can say, well, that's a fetus. That's a fetus. I know it's breathing, it's crying like a baby, but that's a fetus, and that's just a massive flash right there 9 months later as the doctor discusses with the mother. Should we kill the baby? Should we make the baby live? Okay. Maybe that Obamacare will pay for that. And yes, and Planned Parenthood, who commits genocide on the black families, they'll be right there saying to the mommy on one side, saying, kill the baby, right? Yes, and that's where our taxpayer money is going to an organization that commits genocide on many of the black babies. But I know you disagree. If you are on the far left, if you're mid-center, maybe you might say, well, I don't know if we want to kill a baby after 9 months. We want to get them like 2 weeks in, maybe three weeks in. But New York says, hey, the baby's born, kill the baby. All right, New York. Okay, and pretty soon I guess that policy is going to be coming to Colorado, since we have got these policies into effect here. That's moving forward in the kill a baby Democratic way of thinking. Right?
I could go on and on. My point is that white nationalism did not do any of those things that I just brought up. Democrat policies did. Let me be clear. The hearing today is not about white nationalism or hate crimes. It's about fear-mongering, power, and control. It's a preview of a Democrat 2020 election strategy, same as the Democrat 2016 election strategy. They blame Facebook, they blame Google, they blame Twitter. Really, they blame the birth of social media, which has disrupted their monopoly on minds. They called this hearing because they believe that if it wasn't for social media, voices like mine would never exist, that my movement Blexit, which is inspiring black Americans to leave the Democrat Party, would have never come about. And they certainly believe that Donald Trump would not be in office today. Looking on the next thing to focus on now that the Russian collusion hoax has fallen apart.
Collusion, collusion, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, collusion, collusion. Is it delusion or is it collusion? Which one do you think it is? Left-wing fake news? Which one? Which one is it?
What they won't tell you about the statistics and the rise of white nationalism is that they've simply changed the data set points by widening the definition of hate crimes and upping the number of reporting agencies that are able to report on them. What I mean to say is that they're manipulating statistics. The goal here is to scare blacks, Hispanics, gays, and Muslims into helping them censor dissenting opinions, ultimately into helping them regain control of our country's narrative, which they feel that they lost. They feel that President Donald Trump should not have beat Hillary. If they actually were concerned about white nationalism, they would be holding hearings on Antifa, a far-left, violent, white gang who determined one day in Philadelphia in August that I, a black woman, was not fit to sit in a restaurant. They chased me out. They yelled race traitor to a group of black and Hispanic police officers who formed a line to protect me from their ongoing assaults. They threw water at me. They threw eggs at me. And the leftist media remained silent on it.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. It's me here again. Simon and Garfunkel. Look it up. The sounds of silence on the left fake news wing of the Democratic media and party.
If they were serious about the rise of hate crimes, they may perhaps be examining themselves and the hate that they have drummed up in this country. Bottom line is that white supremacy, racism, white nationalism, words that once held real meaning, have now become nothing more than election strategies. Every 4 years, the black community is offered handouts and fear. Handouts and fear. Reparations and white nationalism. This is the Democrat preview. Of course, society is not perfectible. We've heard testimony of that today. There are pockets of evil that exist, and those things are horrible, and they should be condemned. But I believe the legacy and the ancestry of black Americans is being insulted every single day. I will not pretend to be a victim in this country, and I know that that makes many people on the left uncomfortable. I want to talk about real issues in black America. I want to talk about real issues in this country and real concerns. The biggest scandal, this is my last sentence, in American politics is that Democrats have been conning minorities into the belief that we are perpetual victims, all but ensuring our failure. Racial division and class warfare are central to the Democrat Party platform. They need blacks to hate whites, the rich to hate the poor.
Okay, if you're black or brown and you want to be a victim, hold your hand up. Hold your hand up, yeah. Hold your hand up, yeah. We could make all kinds of like songs out of this democratic victimhood. Well, as for one, I, as a black man, do not choose to be a victim of your circumstances. I don't choose to be a victim of your political views, left-wing Democrats. And like I said, if you're on the left and you're a Democrat and the shoe doesn't fit you, don't wear it. I'm talking to those hate mongers, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, these terrorist groups that are perpetuated by Thoris money. Yes, Thoris, the billionaire, even after he is dead, his money will go on, and his voice will be heard in society's like America that let his voice be heard. Just a big playground for constructionists, people like Obama who wants to see the fabric of America change into a left-wing radical socialist world. ALC, a hired actress who is having people put words in her mouth to say what she's saying, right? She's very pretty. Wow. Put some words in her mouth and people will listen. Charismatic. Wow. Obama, ALC, both charismatic. Right. Okay. And Nancy Pelosi's getting too old to be charismatic. Chuck Schumer, too old. So we need to bring up the new ones so we can continue this game. So anyway, that is my take on Candace Owens' talk in front of the opening statements in front of the U.S. hearing committee. So hope you enjoyed it, and give me your feedback at 720-324-7278, 720-324-7278, and let us know what you think about this commentary by yours truly, Johnnie J. Now, this next movie, I was going to somewhere with my wife, and we were riding the train, and you know, I figure I don't like to talk that much. Sometimes when I'm riding the train, sometimes I like to, read a book or something like that. Well, and sometimes I like to watch movies. So I thought, oh man, this one's going to be audio described. When I read the description, this band is on this last tour, run of tours, and it's a punk rock band, and they got booked at this neo-Nazi club, which they didn't know, and they witnessed a murder, and that's where things start to get even more crazy, right? This movie, I have not gone on any music tours with any of my bands yet. I mean, I just show up at the club and we do that thing. And one of our artists, Casey and Friend, wanted me to do a tour like with them up in Nebraska and stuff like that. But I didn't get a chance to do that. And then my partner, Wayne, he's been with bands that they've gone on tours, and he told me crazy things about, well, if you saw in Michael Jackson with the Jackson 5 movie, where they were coming out of the nightclub and these guys jumped them and stole the instruments because they wanted to pawn them. Well, my partner had a situation where they're riding up from a event, and these guys come up and they start shooting at their van, and so the guys duck down, and then the other guys, they pull out their guns, throw open the back door, and they start shooting at the other guys that are shooting at them. And I'm thinking, like, man, that is like the Wild West. I mean, what's up with that? I mean, that's just totally crazy. But my partner Wayne, he's blind, and the other guy, it was another guy in the group. He was a bongo player, and he was blind. And then the other guys, they were sighted, of course, because they're not going to be driving a van. And but they were ready to do some gunplay to keep their equipment, so they don't have to go out and purchase some more equipment at the pawn shop, maybe the same equipment that got stolen from the night before. So, but this movie, The Green Room, goes further than that. Because maybe, I hope that, well, in many, there was a band that was driving down the highway, and it was another guy driving down the wrong way and crashed into their car and just blew them up. Everybody was killed in this situation, and so you have a situation like that where you're traveling from one gig to another, and you're driving on the highway, and not everybody is awake on the highway. Unfortunately, I mean, you're behind this massive metal, and you're not awake. Well, I mean, that as horrible as that may seem, this movie will have you sitting on the edge of your seat. It is called The Green Room. And I know, not the green book, not the green ham and beans, ham and bacon, whatever that movie was, but The Green Room. And I highly recommend it to you because here this band and the manager, they are, doing the radio interview, and that was kind of like a dud. And then they go off to do the concert, and they're just there to play the music. They're on tour, trying to get their name out there, trying to go from town to town and seeing what audience they click with the most, and they're just about the music, right? They're not, in this case, they're not into the neo-Nazi, Heil Hitler kind of thing. They're not into the drug lifestyle. For the most part, I mean, that's what it seems like. They are just into the what was it? The music. And next thing they know, they're in a green room, and the rules have changed. And they're trying to keep some sense of normality in a world of psychopaths, in a world of neo-Nazis, in the world of just craziness. They're trying to keep things balanced in such a way. So I'm not giving this movie really I don't know. And you may think something else. Come back, watch the movie, come back, and, leave every review, say, Johnny, no, that movie, I'm a musician and that would never happen. And, and it's like, that they were just, the writer's imagination was just too far out there. And I have, I wanted to get some of your feedback as well, because to me, it's like, it gave me one of those queasy feelings in my stomach, like, wow, what if something like that was to happen? And how would I handle that, and how would I get myself out of that situation? Because I was just thinking also, when I lived in L.A., man, I met some pretty strange people. I met this one group of people that said that we're going to get in the bus, we're going to go up to the mountains, and we're going to pray, and meet us by the Hollywood Bowl, and we're going to all go to the mountains and pray. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm legally blind. I have a stick here, and I'm going to get in the bus with some people that I don't know, right? I don't know anybody that ever came back from this mountain of prayer, right? And who knows, once we get to the mountains, it could be a Jim Jones. And this was right after Jim Jones, right? And I just said, hey, sure, I'll meet you at the Hollywood Bowl. And I was nowhere to be found because I didn't know these people and didn't want to be a part of their cultures or whatever it was. Now, maybe if I would have known them, people that have went with them and came back safely, I would have said, hey, well, I'm up for it, but, praise the Lord. At the age of 20, I think it was 20 or 21. Yeah, I just wasn't going to go that direction. But in this band, they got a recommendation to go to this place by somebody that they knew. And maybe the person didn't know that on the other end of this, whoever put the ad in the paper, or however else they found out, the friend found out about this concert, that this just wasn't the best concert to be in. It wasn't the concert where you could be preaching love, peace, and soul. Love, peace, and let's not throw up the swastika. Love, peace, and let's not hate the Jews. Love, peace, and let's not be anti-Semitic. let's not be crazy with this Nazism. But it puts this movie in a realm of, I'm thinking like a thriller, not a horror movie really, but a thriller movie. And it might just become one of those underground movies where you will watch this movie and you will say, wow, this is one of those cult type movies, because I think it has that potential to be a cult type, have a cult type following. And I'm not going to tell you too much about it because I want you to see it, and you can figure out who survives and who doesn't survive, but you'll be rooting for all of them because the actors played it very well, and I wish it was audio described, and it was just, you guys will love the movie. John Wasco, let me see how many new people came. John Wasco, Willow Hambar is watching. Antoine Drober is watching. Saul Hines. Robert Jr. Hines. Okay, and that's what a new shout out for the new people. Hey, highly recommend The Green Room. And please come back and put your review here. And share this with some other people as well. And like our InnervisionRecords.org Facebook page, and follow us on Twitter, Innervision Reco, and follow us on Spreaker, Innervision Radio Show as well. And on our show on KOMF Radio, 92.9 FM, let people know. And we are doing a fundraiser. We are in the midst of selling some speakers for a donation to our nonprofit organization, $200. Just go, it's on my Facebook page as an event that I'm hosting. And we're also wanting to get our guys into the top 200. Our, Mike Johnson, Sunset Highway, D'Angelo T, Broken Chains, and Finger T, Dark Tower, Volume 1. And you can help us out by picking up a 99-cent copy or picking up the whole album. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. You do it, and help us get into the top 200. We really want to get into the top 125, maybe the top 40 of that, where radio stations pick out the songs for our radio airplay. So we thank you for joining us tonight. We'll probably see you the next time here on Innervision FM. Monday night, 6 o'clock. Be there. God bless.
Isn't it fun to sing along to the radio? If you could help someone else have that same experience and take it to the next level, maybe you would consider donating an old car, RV, truck, or boat. For over 15 years, Innervision has been helping the physically challenged and grassroots artists to create their music. Using music to heal the world is Innervision's gift to you, and you can help them to continue by donating your unwanted car, RV, truck, or boat. You'll also receive a tax deduction at the end of the year. Call us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 1-855-500-7433. That's 1-855-500-7433. Charity ID 4015. Your unwanted car, RV, truck, or boat is tax deductible, and it can make a difference right here in Colorado. The artists at Innervision thank you for your support. Make that call toll-free using Innervision's Charity ID 4015. Again, the phone number 1-855-500-7433.